Do you have free will? Before answering that question, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a baby was born named Oedipus in ancient Greece. According to the ancient scholars, when he was born, there was a prophecy that he will kill his dad and marry his mom. Yep, you heard it right. When his parents heard the prophecy, they did what they thought was the best option and left him in the forest to die, as they wanted to change their fate. However, the child was picked up by a couple and was raised. The moment Oedipus himself heard about his prophecy, he wanted to change his fate and left his hometown to become a warrior. In his journey, he kills an old man in the way and marries his widow, that turns out to be his mom, and the old man who he killed was his dad. The story of Oedipus is one of the classic examples of philosophers or scholars explaining fate, that we cannot change what is written in our fate. Hang on a little bit, I know you may think otherwise. Let me explain. Since the beginning of enlightenment in the 18th century, one of the most asked questions in the existence of humankind has been whether or not we have free will. The elusive answer is nonetheless foundational to our moral codes, criminal justice system, religions, and even to the very meaning of life itself. For if every event of life is merely the predictable outcome of mechanical laws, one may question the point of it all. The question comes down to the fact that are our choices predetermined, or affected by factors such as class, politics, or other cases such as religious factors, God, and predetermined fate. People who believe in free will are called libertarian, but are different from political libertarian. They believe that human actions are freely chosen, while the political libertarianism is all about the freedom from the government. However, libertarian can be anyone that believes the belief that human actions are freely chosen. On the contrast, we have the determinism, the belief that all events are caused by past events that will change the course of other actions, and nothing other than that could have happened. But the fact that the agent or the person chaining or deciding an action over another, or one option over another, has caused a lot of philosophers and intellects arguing that the idea itself is ignorant of the cause and effect principle, if not from our minds, from which source we know what to choose. While the idea of having free will and control over your actions may sound really good, the fact is that there is not a lot of arguments and facts that can support this idea. The best argument there is for it is what we do feels really free. However, there is no such argument that can support this idea, because in the world of philosophy, if you can make an argument or prove your argument by an action, there is no way to prove your idea. On the other hand, determinists believe that our actions are caused by things like feelings, religion, or other factors. A good example of it being humans act on beliefs and temptation, or in search of completing their desires. That is why when we wake up in the morning, we eat what we desire, or at least get to choose if we have a choice between all the food we have, depending on the day, depending on the mood, or depending on the fact that we are in some kind of regime or diet. Hard determinists believe that we can pinpoint exact factors, or factors that an action, in theory, we could isolate them if we knew enough about all the beliefs, desires, and temptations swirling around in our brain. They also believe that you cannot help but feel and react the way you are reacting right now. So you might be wondering, what about the feeling that I have about my freedom of choice? Or what about if I make a random choice every day, whether tossing a coin to choose whatever I'm going to do? Or what about if I let somebody else choose for me? Wouldn't that be freedom of choice? Well, to be exact, unfortunately, the answer would be no. The person you will choose will be determined by you, and the fact that you're tossing a coin is also determined by you. That being said, now you might be wondering, why am I still watching this video? I have freedom and will to just leave. Well, if you haven't left until now and you're still feeling confused, it's just the fact that you're reacting to a determined way. You're determined to feel confused and understand the way you are. Okay, let's look at it in another way. We can ask the question whether or not the idea of free will or determinism will affect us, and how it will change our daily understanding of choices we make. The distinction happens when we have a sense of aspiration or defeatism. You see, some people believe that all that is happening in the world is one way or another out of their hand and they can't change, or maybe they don't matter, they don't take responsibility and are passive. On the other hand, we have the aspiration to change, to take responsibility. However, to be happy and successful in life, we have to understand that we have to accept both aspects of defeatism and aspiration and balance it out. As sometimes, no matter what we do, the waves will be against us, and sometimes we have to take responsibility to change our world. This can be best described by the Stoic philosophy and ideas, as they say we cannot control all aspects of our life, and they are things that are out of our hands. So in those times, it all comes down to how we react to things. So at the end of the day, it comes down to each individual, whether they accept their fate and let things be or become the change they need in life. Or even better, learn the Stoic way and control what we can and don't worry or bother about things we can't. So what do you think? Are you still free?